Hi, I'm Annie Ulichny, and I want to thank you for joining in for some meditation practice today. So I love to cook, and I love mixing things in and trying new ingredients and just kind of tinkering with recipes, which means I'm not really a very good baker. And notoriously in my family, they kind of make a joke that I'm very likely to burn things if I try to bake. This week though, decided and was determined to bake something for a family member and pour all of my effort into it and see if I couldn't make something pretty good. And I'm thrilled with the way it came out. It was delicious, it was healthy, and I really celebrated that attempt to bake and felt like it was really successful. And our practice today is going to be about celebrating things like simple endeavors like trying to bake something new or trying something new or just enjoying more of the everyday activities and events and the details of those events that we are engaged in that we often overlook. Our emotional lives are usually what pull us and grab our attention. The emotions that we have on the happiness scale, the very happy, joyous, awe, amazing, wonderful, gratitude emotions, those pull us in for sure. And then also the negative emotions pull us in. Anger, fear, frustration, overwhelm, anxiety, all of those kinds of things. I would even include craving in those kinds of emotions. We really get pulled into the extremes of our emotions. And yet what exists in this very big middle area is what we don't pay very much attention to. And yet it's, for the most part, a very significant part of our everyday life. It's this neutral part, this neutral territory of our emotions. And it's kind of an indifferent place. It's autopilot. It's when we wake up through the course of our day, the everyday activities that we do. And there's no charge to those, so we tend to overlook them or rush through them. And yet that is where there's so much growth and so much wholesomeness in these moments. And so we could try something as simple as cooking or doing our everyday activities that we enjoy, and we can really look at where the meaning is in those events and the significance and celebrate them more. And that's never been more important than it is right now in our very challenging communities and world where things just feel very difficult some days. And so we can start from the inside out, really taking a look at these neutral parts of our lives where we're on autopilot and really celebrating them more. Something as simple as baking something. So that's our practice today. And we're going to look at these neutral areas that we don't really notice so much in our body and also in our daily activities, and explore this for ourselves and make more meaning and more significance for ourselves in these areas, in this big chunk of our life. So I'd like you to take a comfortable posture, and if you're seated, just feel that your posture is upright and dignified. We can take our hands and just rest them very comfortably on your lap. So you can feel that your shoulders can drop down and relax just by having your hands placed on your lap. We can close our eyes down. And we're going to breathe in and out of the nose. And we're going to imagine all of this restless thinking, mental energy that we have, that maybe we brought with us to sit here. We can put it all into a balloon filled with helium and just kind of let it go. And watch it, just let go of the string and watch the balloon go up and away. So what we're left with is being right here in this space, right here, right now. whatever room you're in, or if you're outside. Feel the space that you're in, just as we get started here. Just feel the energy in the room, perhaps exploring the temperature, maybe noticing the noises that are in the room. Just start to bring everything into the here and now, in this ordinary day, in this ordinary space where we live and we spend a lot of time. And then we could bring our attention, our focus, our mind's ability to focus. We can let the inner voice go a little bit, just let it move into the background. And just use our focus and bring our focus closer into us. So maybe within about 10 to 12 inches of us, just the space directly around our body. And see if we can't feel any kind of energy or hear noises even within our own body that we can hear just in the space, in this kind of cocoon-like idea right around us, surrounding our skin and our body. There's so much happening every single moment around us and also within us. It almost feels like this energy that's right around us, it almost feels like it's touching our skin, so much so that it's hard to even tell sometimes in different places of the body where my skin is versus just the air and this little area pocket of around us that I'm describing. Just, it feels a little more spacious when we pay attention to it. And then we could come inside, using our breath to carry us inside. On the in-breath, we're just making friends with this space that's around us and bringing it inside, using the breath, befriending the breath on the in-breath, really feeling that the space around us is coming in, through the nose and down into the lowest part of the belly, near the belly button. So we feel our belly expand. It feels soft, but it's expanding on the inhale. And then with intention and care, just releasing the air, trying not to push it out, but just letting it release so we feel this contracting back of the belly and the belly button. The diaphragm and the rib cages are kind of contracting too, we can feel on the exhale. So really feel this breath coming in, making friends with our breath. This breathing happens maybe about 20,000 times a day, and we really don't pay attention to it. This is one of these neutral parts of our lives that we can start to just really explore and feel a little bit more. Filling up, as we fill up on the inhale, we feel our belly moving out in front of us, expanding, and then it contracts and move back down. So we're just getting used to this rhythm of feeling the belly, making friends with our breath. And then contracting on the exhale, and the belly button is really moving back toward the backbone. And as we start to just get used to this rhythm, we could start to feel that it feels like a wave in the ocean. There's this big swell of the wave on the inhale. And then as the wave hits the beach or the shoreline, it recedes back as we exhale back into the ocean. So feeling this rhythm for yourself, really exploring this expansion and this contraction, expanding, opening up on the inhale, through the nose and down all the way into the belly. And then it's a contraction as this wave recedes back. It's a contraction of the body. Everything is contracting, contracting, releasing the air on the exhale. So try these wave-like breaths, inhaling, really feeling the whole body. Feeling the belly and then feeling up into the chest as we expand this idea of this rhythm and this wave. It fills our whole body and then releases, contracts as we exhale. And it's a smooth inhale and exhale if it's possible. And as we're filling up and releasing like the ocean is this natural thing that many of us gravitate toward. We really feel really happy when we're by the ocean. And it brings such pleasure. It's what we imagine sometimes when we look for our happy place. And yet we have this sensation, this natural sensation, this wave-like sensation within us as well. It's always with us. Just like we can imagine the ocean is always with us. And we just take even a minute to imagine the ocean and feel it in our breath. This is very soothing, calming, relaxing, restorative. Imagining this ocean, feeling it in our body. Encouraging this happy place kind of a sensation. And then next we could explore through the body. We could come and explore, and again, using our mind's ability to imagine and create. This excellent feature of our mind is this creation and imagination. And we can really explore this within us. Really taking a few moments during any day and just feeling within us and noticing this aliveness, this electrical quality that we always carry within us. And yet we don't really pay attention to it. It's part of this neutral category I described. So we could bring all of our attention up into right in the middle of our head. And all of our focus is really trying to see what can we experience if we are feeling this felt sense. Not what we're thinking, but what we're feeling right in the middle, right between the ears, set back behind the forehead and the eyes, right into the middle of the head. really feeling what's here. We tend to think about what's within our head, but it could be very different to feel it. This experience could feel spacious, open, soft, gentle, right in the middle of our head. And yet, most of the time, we're really only gripped by if we feel some kind of tension in our forehead. Most of the time. And yet we have this open spaciousness that coexists with some tension sometimes. And we could travel down into the body, and as we travel from the head, we could imagine that there's this kind of a light-filled, kind of a liquidy light, glowing sensation and experience running from our head down through our neck, through our shoulders, through our hands and palms. This very alive, soothing, liquidy light filled possibility within us. It's making everything soft and relaxed within us. It's a very soothing and yet very alive serum kind of like consistency, and it's melting and moving from our head down through our body, moving down from our shoulders and our hands and our palms down through our heart, down our back, down through our whole body, filling up through our belly, our digestive system, all of our organs, and down into the pelvis. This liquidy light, this glowing kind of tingling light that's within us. It is this alive energy, and we're just adding a glow to it in our imagination. Just notice if you feel any sensations as we imagine and create within our body this kind of electric, alive, glowing, lit up quality within us. This can be very soothing to the nervous system. And we could travel with this light, this soothing, liquidy serum, golden serum, moving it down our legs, past our knees and down into the soles of our feet. So our whole body is filled with this liquidy golden light. Just check in and see how your body is feeling as we use our sense of imagination and bring to life what's already here. And celebrate this body, celebrate this breath. And now that we've experienced the breath and the body with a little bit of creativity, we could use our imagination and bring to mind something that happened this week, perhaps, or at some point in the recent past, that you experienced that was something you could celebrate, that maybe it is something that has significance and meaning and we brushed over it. Maybe it was an interaction with a neighbor or somebody doing errands, or an interaction with a family member, or some activity you were involved with that actually, if you really stop and pay attention right now, you realize how wonderful that activity was. And we can bring it back into our mind's eye and really allow this activity or this interaction that we were involved with, allow it to grow. Really feel it again. Receive the meaning and the significance of this one small detail of our life that maybe we brushed over. It could be something like baking, or an interaction we had with somebody. We could feel the warmth within us toward ourselves when we receive this small detail of our life in a bigger way, when we can magnify it and really allow it to fill us with a sense of peace and well-being and wholesomeness in our life. And recognize sometimes it is the small details that we overlook that can be very meaningful, and we can celebrate and should celebrate them now. So check in with your body. Notice how it's feeling as we've used this creativity for good today, and the ripple effect that this can have moving forward with the rest of our day. I invite us to open our eyes and look around in the room, in the space, or if you're outside, the space that you're in right now. Experiencing this ordinary moment. The sounds, the temperature, the experience in this room, the energy that's here. And feel a sense of contentedness and okayness and celebration for your offering care and kindness and calming and restoration to yourself in this space for this time, and how significant that is, not only to you, but to all your encounters moving forward. Thank you very much.